In the quiet solitude of her father's observatory on Zorlex, Mira peered through the high-powered telescope aimed at the vast cosmos. The stars shimmered like scattered diamonds against the dark velvet of space. Her fingers danced over the console, tuning into frequencies that her father often dismissed as noise from ancient civilizations. "What are you doing, Mira?" asked her father, Dr. Lareth, as he entered the dimly lit room. His voice was both curious and stern. "Just exploring frequencies," Mira replied, not shifting her gaze from the monitor. Dr. Lareth walked over, peering over her shoulder. "Remember, not all that comes from Earth is of scientific value." "But it's not just science," Mira protested gently. "It's about understanding them, their culture, their essence." Dr. Lareth chuckled, adjusting his glasses. "Very well, but be cautious. Earth is a complex planet." Mira nodded, her attention caught by a sudden clear transmission. The screen flickered and then stabilized, displaying a group of human boys playing basketball. Their laughter and shouts filled the observatory's sound system. Mira's eyes widened in wonder. "Look at them, Father. They're so full of life and joy. It's infectious," Mira said, a smile breaking across her face. Dr. Lareth observed the screen, his expression unreadable. "They are indeed lively. But remember, their world is not like ours. Such raw emotions can lead to chaos. But they also lead to creativity and change. Father, I want to see it, experience it." Mira's voice was thick with longing. Dr. Lareth sighed, seeing the resolve in his daughter's eyes. "Mira, it's dangerous. You know our laws forbid direct contact with less advanced civilizations." Mira turned to face him, her expression serious. "What if I could go there, learn from them, and bring back knowledge that could benefit us all?" Her father paused, considering her words. "It's unprecedented, Mira. If you were discovered, the consequences... I'll be careful. I've already thought about it a lot. I can use the cloaking device to remain undetected. Please, Father." Dr. Lareth looked into his daughter's bright, pleading eyes, his heart torn. "Let me think about it, Mira. It's not a decision to take lightly." "Thank you, Father. I promise you won't regret this," Mira beamed, her mind racing with plans. As Dr. Lareth left the observatory, Mira turned back to the screen. The boys were now sitting together, sharing a drink, their laughter echoing through the room. Mira's heart swelled. She wasn't just going to observe Earth, she was going to live it, breathe it. She knew she had to be part of that vibrant world, even if it meant leaving everything she knew behind. "Earth, wait for me," she whispered to herself, a determined glint in her eye. The adventure of a lifetime was just beginning, and she was ready to embrace it with open arms. Late at night, under the cover of Zorlex's twin moons, Mira made her way stealthily to the outskirts of the city, where she had secretly been assembling her spacecraft. The small, sleek vessel was designed with the most advanced stealth technology known to her civilization, capable of evading even the sophisticated sensors of Zorlex's defense systems. As she approached the hangar, hidden in a secluded valley, her heart pounded with both excitement and fear. Tonight, she was not just defying her father's wishes, but also breaking the strict laws of her planet. The consequences of her actions loomed large, but the pull of her dreams drew her forward. Mira slid open the hangar doors and gazed at her creation. The ship's hull shimmered subtly, reflecting the starlight. She ran her hand along the smooth surface, whispering, "Soon we'll see new worlds together." She climbed into the cockpit, her fingers flying over the controls with practiced ease. The engines hummed to life, a soft yet powerful purr that only she could hear. Before initiating the launch, she pulled up a hologram of her father. "Dad, I'm going. I have to do this, not just for me, but for all of us. I hope to make you proud," she said, her voice cracking with emotion. With a heavy heart, she turned off the hologram and focused on her mission. Mira punched in the coordinates for Earth, the thrusters vibrating as they prepared to propel her across the cosmos. She took a deep breath and hit the launch button. The ship soared silently into the night sky, cloaking immediately upon clearing the atmosphere. The planetary defense grid, a network of sensors and interceptors, scanned right past her as she slipped through unnoticed. Mira let out a sigh of relief, her first hurdle crossed. Hours into her journey, as her home planet became a mere speck in the distance, Mira reflected on what she had left behind. Her father's warnings echoed in her mind, about Earth's chaos, its wars, its beauty, and its pain. Yet her spirit soared with the possibilities that lay ahead. She spent the next few days adjusting to the confines of the spacecraft, rationing her supplies, and monitoring the systems to ensure she remained hidden from any passing ships or satellites. The solitude gave her time to think, to dream about walking among humans, learning their languages, and experiencing their cultures firsthand. As Earth approached, a blue and green jewel hanging in the vastness of space, Mira prepared for landing. She reviewed the data she had on Earth's geography, deciding to land in a remote part of North America known for its expansive wilderness and low population density. With precision, she maneuvered her spacecraft towards the designated landing site, a secluded area in the Rocky Mountains. The descent was rougher than expected, the Earth's atmosphere proving to be a challenging adversary. Turbulence shook the craft as she fought to keep control. The ship groaned under the stress, alarms blaring in the cockpit. Mira gritted her teeth, adjusting the thrusters to slow her descent. With a final, jarring thud, the spacecraft touched down amidst the dense forests of the mountains. Breathing heavily, Mira checked the systems. Minor damages, but nothing she couldn't repair. She had made it. She was on Earth. As the realization set in, a wide smile spread across her face. Now, her adventure truly began. The early morning sun filtered through the towering pines of the Rocky Mountains, illuminating the small clearing where Mira's spacecraft had crash-landed. The ship, slightly embedded in the earth, hissed quietly as its systems cooled. Inside, Mira busied herself with checking the damage. Her heart raced, not just from the adrenaline of the crash, but from the excitement of finally being on Earth. Outside, the sound of footsteps crunching on dry leaves drew nearer. Jack, an avid hiker and nature enthusiast, had decided to take advantage of the perfect weather to explore a new trail. As he approached the clearing, the sight of the otherworldly spacecraft stopped him in his tracks. His eyes widened in disbelief. "What in the world?" Jack muttered to himself, cautiously moving closer. He circled the craft, amazed by the seamless design and the material that seemed to shimmer and change colors with the light. Inside, Mira sensed the approach of someone. Her systems alerted her to the human presence just outside her ship. Taking a deep breath, she activated the door mechanism, and with a smooth hiss, the door slid open. She stepped out, her appearance startlingly alien yet fascinating, her skin a soft blue, her hair shimmering silver under the sun. Jack stepped back, his hand instinctively reaching for his phone. "Whoa, are you an alien?" he asked, his voice a mix of awe and concern. "Yes, I am from Zorlex. My name is Mira. Please do not be afraid," she responded, her translator perfectly mimicking human speech patterns. Jack lowered his phone, his curiosity overtaking his initial shock. "I'm Jack. How did you end up here?" Mira explained her fascination with Earth and her desire to learn about human culture. "I crash-landed. My ship was damaged upon entering your atmosphere. I need to make repairs." Jack looked over her shoulder at the sophisticated interior of the spacecraft. "I know a bit about mechanics. Maybe I can help?" Grateful for the offer, Mira nodded. "I would appreciate your assistance." Together, they examined the damaged systems. Jack was quickly fascinated by the alien technology, much of it far beyond anything on Earth. Mira, in turn, was eager to learn everything she could about Earth from her first human acquaintance. As they worked, Mira asked about everything from the local wildlife to human customs. Jack, a natural storyteller, found himself enjoying the role of ambassador to Earth. "The people here, they're like me. We're all very different. You'll find good folks and bad, just like anywhere, I guess," Jack explained as they took a break, sitting on a fallen log. Mira absorbed every word, her eyes scanning the surrounding forest. "It's beautiful here. Peaceful," she said, a stark contrast to the crowded cities of Zorlex. "Yeah, Earth has its charm for sure. But wait till you see a city." Their conversation was cut short by the sound of distant sirens. Jack's expression changed. "We might have company soon. I don't think a spaceship goes unnoticed in these parts." Mira looked worried. "What should we do?" "First things first, let's hide your ship. Then we can figure out our next move," Jack said, standing up and dusting off his pants. Together, they camouflaged the spacecraft with branches and leaves, concealing it from immediate view. As they worked, a bond began to form. A bond that would be crucial for navigating the complexities of Earth together. After successfully camouflaging the spacecraft, Jack led Mira away from the clearing to a more secluded area. The distant sirens grew louder, and it was evident that authorities had been alerted to the unusual activity. Mira's presence on Earth was quickly escalating into a matter of national security. "We need to find a place to lay low," Jack said, his brow furrowed as they trekked through dense underbrush. "I have a cabin not too far from here. We can stay there for a while." Mira nodded, following him closely, her senses heightened to the unfamiliar sounds and sights of the Earth's wilderness. "What will happen if they find me?" she asked, her voice tinged with concern. Jack glanced back, offering a reassuring smile. "Don't worry, I'll explain that you come in peace. We just need to be careful about who we trust." As they approached a rustic cabin nestled between towering pines, Jack explained that it was a family property rarely visited by outsiders, making it an ideal hideout. Inside, the cabin was cozy, filled with supplies and essentials for living off the grid. Mira looked around with wide eyes, taking in the simple human technology and comforts. Jack set about securing the area, checking for any signs of being followed. Mira, meanwhile, used her advanced technology to set up a perimeter alert system around the cabin. "This will alert us if anyone comes within 100 meters, she explained as she activated the device. The first night passed quietly, and the next morning, Jack taught Mira how to use some of the basic human tools and appliances. The simplicity of human life fascinated her, and she eagerly absorbed every piece of information. However, their peaceful adjustment was short-lived. By the afternoon, the cabin was surrounded by government agents, led by a stern-looking woman in a dark suit. "Jack Roberts, step outside with the alien visitor," she called out through a megaphone. Jack looked at Mira, his expression serious. "It's time to face them. Just stay calm and let me do the talking." They stepped outside together, hands raised to show they weren't a threat. The agent in charge, Special Agent Linda Hayes, stepped forward, her gaze fixed on Mira. "I'm Special Agent Hayes with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We need to take you and your companion into custody for questioning regarding the extraterrestrial craft and your intentions here on Earth," she stated firmly. Mira, standing beside Jack, spoke up, her voice steady despite her nervousness. "I mean no harm. I came to learn about Earth and share knowledge." Hayes paused, considering her words. "Your arrival has implications beyond simple curiosity. You'll need to come with us." Jack intervened. "She's under my protection. We're willing to cooperate, but I assure you, she's here peacefully." Hayes nodded slowly, signaling her team to lower their weapons. "Very well, but we're taking you to a secure location where we can ensure this matter is handled properly." As they were escorted to a black SUV, Jack whispered to Mira, "Stick close to me, no matter what happens." Mira nodded, her mind racing with the possible outcomes of their capture. Despite the uncertainty, she felt a strange sense of trust in Jack, her first true friend on this vibrant, complex planet. The journey to the secure facility was quiet, but the real test of their resolve was just beginning. The secure facility, a nondescript government building in the heart of a bustling city, was a stark contrast to the tranquil isolation of the cabin. Mira and Jack were escorted through a series of checkpoints, each more stringent than the last, before being led into a sterile interrogation room. Special Agent Hayes observed them closely, her expression unreadable. "We'll begin with you, Jack," Hayes said, directing him to a seat across from her. Mira was taken to an adjacent room where she could still see Jack through a one-way mirror. Jack sat down, his posture relaxed despite the tension in the room. "I'm just here to help Mira. She's not a threat to us. In fact, I think she could teach us a lot." Hayes leaned forward, her eyes sharp. "And what has she taught you so far, Mr. Roberts?" "Compassion, curiosity, the desire to understand rather than to fear," Jack replied. "Isn't that what we strive for? What we want our society to embody?" Hayes paused, considering his words. Meanwhile, Mira was quietly observing, her advanced senses picking up the subtleties of human interaction and emotion. The agent's skepticism, Jack's sincerity, these were all part of the complex human nature she had come to explore. After several hours of questioning, Hayes allowed Mira to join Jack. "Mira, your arrival has caused quite a stir. What is your purpose on Earth?" Hayes asked, her tone slightly softer than before. Mira responded with calm clarity. "I wish to learn from humanity and share my knowledge. Where I come from, we value the exchange of ideas and culture. I see Earth's rich diversity and potential for growth. I hope to be part of that in a peaceful way." Hayes nodded slowly, her demeanor thawing as the conversation progressed. "Your intentions seem genuine, but you must understand our caution. Humanity has its dark sides, its conflicts and fears. Not everyone will be as accepting as Jack here. Mira acknowledged this with a nod. I understand. I've seen both the beauty and the challenges of your world. I am here to learn, not to judge. Impressed by Mira's maturity and understanding, Hayes made a decision. I will recommend to my superiors that we monitor your activities, but allow you to stay with Jack as your guide. You'll be our guest, Mira. Consider this an opportunity to prove that your intentions are as you say. Grateful, Mira turned to Jack, her eyes conveying a silent thank you. Jack smiled back, relieved. Over the next few weeks, Jack and Mira traveled under supervision, visiting various cultural and historical sites. Mira was a quick learner, absorbing everything from language nuances to social customs. Everywhere they went, Mira used her technology to help in small but significant ways, assisting in medical emergencies, repairing broken machinery, even helping lost pets find their way home. The public's initial wariness turned into fascination and then admiration. Mira's kindness and intelligence won over many, just as her differences sparked debates about diversity, acceptance, and the future of human interaction with other civilizations. As they sat watching a sunset from a city park, Mira turned to Jack. Earth is more complex than I ever imagined, but also more beautiful. Jack laughed. That's humanity for you. Messy, complicated, but somehow we make it work. You're getting a real taste of it now. Mira smiled, her gaze thoughtful. Yes, and I am grateful for it. Every day is a new learning experience. Together, they looked out at the bustling city, a microcosm of Earth's chaos and harmony. Mira's journey into understanding humanity was just beginning, and she was ready to embrace whatever came next. As Mira's understanding of humanity deepened, so did her visibility. News of her actions, both mysterious and benevolent, began to ripple across media networks, catching widespread attention. Mira's ability to seamlessly integrate and positively impact communities sparked both admiration and fear. While many hailed her as a symbol of hope and innovation, others viewed her advanced technology and unknown motives with suspicion. The intensifying media spotlight also reignited government interest. Special Agent Hayes, who had become both a supervisory figure and an unlikely mentor to Mira, warned of the mounting pressures from higher authorities. Mira, you're making waves. Not all of them are friendly, Hayes advised during one of their scheduled meetings in a secure government facility. Mira, sitting across from Hayes in a stark, gray room, nodded in understanding. I only wish to contribute positively, but I sense the growing fear. How can I ease it? It's not just about easing fears, Hayes replied, her tone serious. There are parties who see your presence as an opportunity to advance their own agendas. You need to be more cautious. Taking Hayes' advice to heart, Mira and Jack decided to reduce their public appearances. However, their plan to lay low was thwarted when a confidential report leaked to the press. The report speculated wildly about the potential threats posed by Mira's technology, painting her as a surveillance risk and possible harbinger of an alien invasion. The leak triggered a cascade of events. Government agencies ramped up their efforts to monitor Mira's every move, and some called for her immediate detainment for further examination. Jack found himself thrust into the role of protector, navigating a complex landscape of legal and ethical challenges to keep Mira safe. As tensions escalated, the pair received unexpected help from a network of academics and tech enthusiasts who had followed Mira's journey with interest. This community, led by Dr. Elena Voss, a renowned anthropologist and tech ethicist, offered sanctuary and support. We believe in what you're trying to do, Mira, Dr. Voss explained as they met secretly in a university lab cluttered with equipment and books. Your insight into cooperative technologies could lead to breakthroughs in sustainable living, medicine, and more. We'll help shield you from those who can't see past their fear. Grateful for the support, Mira worked within this new underground network, contributing to academic papers and participating in closed-door symposiums. Meanwhile, Jack liaised with Hayes to negotiate terms that would allow Mira more freedom without compromising her safety. One evening, as Jack and Mira discussed their next steps in the safety of Dr. Voss's lab, an emergency broadcast played on the lab's screens. The government had declared Mira a person of significant interest under a rarely used, controversial national security directive. We have to move now, Jack said, turning off the screen. They quickly gathered essential items, leaving behind anything that could track or implicate their location. As they slipped out of the lab into the cold night, the distant sound of sirens filled the air. Jack led Mira through a series of back alleys, heading towards a safe house Dr. Voss had arranged in advance. With each step, Mira learned the harsher realities of fear and prejudice among humans. Yet she also saw the depth of their loyalty and courage, embodied by friends like Jack and Dr. Voss. The night was long, and the chase was far from over, but Mira's resolve to bridge worlds only strengthened. Jack and Mira reached the safe house, a nondescript apartment tucked away in an old neighborhood on the edge of the city. It was just before dawn, and the quiet streets belied the urgency of their situation. Inside, they found a moment to catch their breath, but the respite was short-lived. Jack peered through the blinds, his expression tense. "We won't be able to stay here long. They're narrowing down the search. We need a plan." Mira sat at a small table, her thoughts racing. "Perhaps it is time I confronted them, Jack. If I can show them there is nothing to fear, maybe we can end this peacefully." Jack shook his head, his worry evident. "It's not just about fear, Mira. There are those who would use you for their gain. We can't just walk into their hands." As they strategized, a knock at the door jolted them. Jack cautiously approached, peering through the peephole. Standing outside was Special Agent Hayes, alone. Jack opened the door, his guard up. "Agent Hayes," Jack greeted her warily. "This is a surprise." "I'm not here to take her in, Jack," Hayes said, her voice low as she stepped inside. "I believe Mira can be a great asset to humanity, but we need to handle this delicately. There are others in the government who disagree with how I've managed this situation. They're moving to take over." Mira joined them, her gaze steady. "What do you suggest we do?" Hayes laid out her plan. "There's going to be a public hearing. It's unprecedented, but it will give you a platform, Mira. You can speak to the world, show them who you are and what you stand for. It's a risk, but it might be the only way to sway public opinion and settle this diplomatically." Jack and Mira exchanged a look, the weight of the decision heavy between them. Finally, Mira nodded. "I came here to learn and share. It's time I did that on a larger scale." The following days were a whirlwind of preparation. Hayes arranged for top legal representation and coached Mira on the finer points of human legal and public relations tactics. Meanwhile, Jack worked to gather support from the academic and tech communities, amplifying Mira's positive impact through social media and news outlets. On the day of the hearing, the city was abuzz with activity. Media vans lined the streets, and protesters and supporters alike gathered outside the courthouse. Inside, Mira took the stand, her appearance commanding silence from the room. "Ladies and gentlemen," Mira began, her voice clear and strong, "I stand before you not as a threat, but as a friend. My mission was one of peace and knowledge sharing. Every interaction, every moment on your beautiful planet has taught me about the depth of human kindness and fear. I wish to bridge our worlds, not bring harm." Her words, sincere and heartfelt, resonated throughout the room and across the countless screens watching worldwide. Mira continued, detailing her experiences, the friendships she'd made, and her hopes for the future. The hearing lasted for hours, with various experts testifying on Mira's behalf. As the sun set, the panel retired to deliberate. The wait was excruciating, but eventually they returned. "We have reached a decision," the head of the panel announced. "Considering all testimony, we find no malicious intent in Mira's actions. She will be granted conditional residency on Earth, under the continued supervision of Agent Hayes. Her contributions to our society are welcomed." The courtroom erupted in applause, some in celebration, others in dissent. But for Mira and Jack, it was a moment of profound relief and vindication. Outside, facing the press, Mira summed up her feelings. "Today, humanity showed its capacity for understanding and acceptance. I am honored to be part of this world and excited for what we can achieve together." Jack stood beside her, a proud smile on his face. The battle was won, and a new chapter for human-alien relations had just begun. The decision from the hearing marked a new chapter not only for Mira, but for Earth as a whole. Granted conditional residency, Mira was now able to openly participate in and contribute to society. Under the supervision of Special Agent Hayes, and with the continued support of Jack, she began to navigate her new life with a sense of purpose and optimism. In the weeks following the hearing, Mira and Jack embarked on a tour, visiting schools, universities, and various institutions. Mira shared her knowledge and technology, which were quickly recognized as invaluable resources. Her efforts in sustainability projects and advanced medical research brought significant advancements, garnering public support and admiration. At each stop, Mira took the time to learn from the people she met, absorbing the cultural richness and diversity of Earth. Her genuine curiosity and eagerness to understand human emotions and motivations deepened the connections she formed. Jack, ever by her side, found himself in a new role as Mira's guide and spokesperson. Together, they navigated the complexities of her integration into human society. Their bond strengthened, rooted in mutual respect and a shared mission to foster understanding and cooperation between their worlds. One sunny afternoon, as they walked through a bustling city park, Mira reflected on her journey. Jack, look at all these people, living their lives, each with their own stories and dreams. It's beautiful. Jack smiled, watching a group of children play near a fountain. It is, and you've become a part of it, Mira. You're making a real difference. Mira nodded, her eyes taking in the scene. I feel a great responsibility, Jack. Not just to share my knowledge, but to ensure it's used wisely, to make sure that it benefits not just a few, but all. As they continued their walk, they were approached by a young girl who recognized Mira from the news. Are you the lady from the stars? She asked shyly. Mira knelt down to be eye level with the girl. Yes, I am. What's your name? Lily, the girl replied, her eyes wide with wonder. Mira smiled warmly. Hello, Lily. I'm Mira. It's lovely to meet you. Lily smiled back, then reached out to give Mira a drawing she had made of the Earth surrounded by stars. This is for you. So you always remember Earth is your home too. Mira accepted the drawing, touched by the gesture. Thank you, Lily. I will treasure this. As Lily ran back to her friends, Jack looked at Mira, his expression thoughtful. You know, Mira, you've changed a lot of minds about what it means to meet someone from another world. Mira stood, her gaze lingering on the drawing. And Earth has changed me, Jack. I came seeking knowledge, but I found so much more. I found a second home. Together, they resumed their walk, their conversation drifting to future projects and plans. The world around them was a tapestry of life and activity, each thread a story, each story a potential for learning and growth. The sun set behind the city skyline, casting a golden glow over everything. Mira and Jack's silhouette against the vibrant backdrop symbolized a bridge between worlds, a testament to the power of open hearts and minds. Their journey had begun with uncertainty and challenges, but it had blossomed into a promising alliance, shaping a future filled with infinite possibilities.